All right, it's time to say good afternoon to Carmi Levy, our CTV tech analyst. And Carmi, lots of good stories to talk about. Here we are at year's end. I want to start with the one I just read the headline, which is the first one on the list. Google's latest AI will change the way we use the internet forever. That's a pretty impactful statement. What's this all about?
Yeah, it's called Project Mariner, and they just renamed it. It used to be called Project Jarvis. It was an internal initiative designed to basically automate the internet. If you think about how we use technology today, if, say, I want to book a trip for myself, I open up a browser, I open up a bunch of different tabs in the browser, I look for a hotel, I book a flight, I get a rental car, and it takes me a couple of hours, and I kind of arrange each of these on my own, by myself. I control the process. Whereas with Project Mariner, what it'll do is it will do all of that for me. I will tell it, I want to take a trip from this and this date, and this is where I want to go. Go off and book everything for me. You know what my tastes are. And it will go do exactly that. It'll find the best deal on a flight. It'll find a good deal on a rental car. It'll put it all together just like a good travel agent would, and it'll report back to you. And of course, this is AI. There will probably be some glitches along the way, and you'll still have a chance to, you make changes to it, tweak it a little bit. But the promise here is that instead of us driving ourselves across the internet, Project Mariner will do it for us. It's known as an autonomous agent or an intelligent agent. The umbrella term here, and we're going to be hearing it a lot in 2025, is agentic AI, which basically means it's an artificial intelligence agent that, kind of like the computer in Star Trek, just does what we ask. No more, no less.
So you're describing basically having a personal assistant, right? If you had a human being there, you would say exactly the same thing. Here's where I want to go book it. That's what this ultimately, if it all works out, this is what it would do.
That's the perfect way to describe it. And if we think about how we've used the internet for the better part of the last 25 or 30 years, it's really been, we search for things using services like Google. We see ads that key off of our search activity, and that is how everything is funded. That's how the basic revenue model of the internet works. But imagine if we're no longer searching for things in Google, and instead our AI agents are doing all of this for us. How does the internet get paid for? Who makes money? What are all the businesses that have cropped up in support of Google over the last little while? They're going to change. And so the fact that this is Alphabet driving this change shows just how seriously they recognize how fundamentally AI is going to change the rules of the game. And of all the things that Google introduced this year, I'm thinking Project Mariner is the one that's most significant, because that's what's really going to change the internet. 5 years from now, we're going to look back at this moment and go, that was the moment that things really changed. It no longer looks like it used to.
Wow. Just when I was getting used to the internet. All right, let me go on and talk about this. So ChatGPT, which is something, and I talked about this on the show before, something I am using, just doing what I do, more and more every day. So you wrote ChatGPT search is now available to everyone. I thought it always had, I know there's an upgraded version you can spend money for, like pay a monthly subscription. Was it not always available?
It was hidden behind a paywall for pro and premium level users. And so now what OpenAI, the company that brought us ChatGPT, has done is they have broken it out of the paywall. Everybody can access it, and you don't have to download anything new. It's built right into ChatGPT. There's just as you type a prompt, these little icons appear. There's now an icon for search if you want, or even if you don't consciously want to use it, it will switch into search mode if it thinks that's what you want to do. So it doesn't look like a big change, but under the surface, it's probably the biggest threat to Google's search tool and business that we've seen so far. If we're using ChatGPT to search for things online, do we need to Google them anymore? I think that's a really important question.
I think, by the way, to me, that's the ultimate question. What I used to do was to go to Google first, which gives you a choice. Now I just go to ChatGPT, and it does basically all that for you. For people who haven't used it, it's really quite remarkable.
It really is, because if we remember a couple of years back when ChatGPT first debuted, there was a big asterisk next to it. They said it was trained on data that is only maybe at its most recent is a few months old, and then it kind of got frozen in time. So if you wanted to search for things that were or get answers from ChatGPT about events that happened recently, you were out of luck. It really wasn't a search engine in that regard. But of course, technology being what technology does, it always figures out ways to improve. And so it was only a matter of time before chatbots became more search-like. And that's what we're seeing now. And what I find interesting is that ChatGPT is adding search to its bot. Google is adding bots to its search. And it'll be interesting to see which one's model, which one's vision of the future prevails. But right now, we've never had better tools at our disposal. And I often keep Google up next to ChatGPT just to see which one gives me the better answer. But at some point, we're going to leave one of them behind, and Google is hoping it doesn't get left behind.
Yeah, I'm just waiting. You know what's next as I hear you describe this? It'll be, so if I take the idea of booking a trip and doing everything, it'll just be you think of it, and whatever device you're wearing on your head will know what you want to do and go ahead. You don't have to type anything or ask anybody anything. That's next.
Oh, I think that's only a matter of time.
Yeah.
I mean, Elon Musk's Neuralink company, they did bring computer implants this year, rather famously. I think that's coming, and it's probably going to happen sooner than we think.
Yeah, not scary at all. And meanwhile, if we turn the clock back, I love this too. For people, we talk sometimes about people who still collect vinyl records and CDs, which are pretty much gone. LG has announced it's going to stop making Blu-ray players. Remember those? Did you have one of those?
I did, and I still do.
Do you
rather
really?
Stubbornly. Yeah, see, I refuse to take it out of my living room. It still sits under my TV. I don't use it very often. Maybe every few months we'll pull one out, but I like knowing that I have a pile of discs, of both Blu-rays as well as DVDs, old media that I accumulated over the years that the kids used to watch, and that even if I stop paying for a Netflix account or an Apple TV Plus account, I still have this content. I own it. No one can take it away from me. And so it is kind of sad that companies like LG are pulling out. Samsung and Sony stopped making players earlier this year as well. And you can still find them if you look carefully, and I'm sure there will be a very brisk used market out there. But it's sad to see physical media start to fade into history, because once it's gone, you're not going to be able to walk into someone's house, take a look at their movie collection, and sort of start making judgments about who they are based on their choices. I kind of miss that, and as convenient as streaming is, I think we've lost something along the way.
By the way, can you still buy Blu-rays, like movies on Blu-ray discs?
You can, but you have to look a lot harder.
Okay.
So big box stores like Best Buy no longer have sections for them.
Yeah.
So increasingly you have to go online and look for them. And you can have it delivered to your house by Amazon, which of course didn't exist back in the day.
But
yeah, exactly. So yes, but not as convenient. And certainly my kids still speak very fondly of their trips to the Blockbuster store on a Saturday night in their pajamas. No streaming service can ever replicate that.
Blockbuster.